Evening everybody. Tonight Liz and I are going to do a really simple seminar, but until we start we'd just like to go ching ching. We're having a wee glass of wine while we're doing it. Anyway, last week I had a customer came in, really sweet lady who said she wasn't at all artistic and she came in with her friend who was. So she decided she'd have a little go with freehand and didn't really get on with it. So then I suggested using the spongettes and doing something autumny. So I picked just the sycamore leaf by itself, and this is what she achieved, which she hasn't picked up yet, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And loads of people who have come in the studio have all said, oh, that's a lovely jug. And it was so simple. And then what she did was she did one a bit wrong and she rubbed it off. But unfortunately, the dark brown of these clay paints makes a bit of a stain. So I said, don't worry, we'd have to either sand it off, or what we'll do is we'll spatter it. So we spattered it and it just really finishes it off. So I've liked it so much that I've decided we'll do it for you. So I'm going to do it on two thrown pieces. So I've thrown a bowl and I've thrown a jug. So you can do it on any piece of bisque, and it doesn't even have to be pottery. Because of course you can put the sponges, you could do it with acrylics and do it on a terracotta plant pot, or you could do it on t-shirts, you can do it on glass, you can do it on walls. What else could we do it on? You can make your own wallpaper
candles,
with them. Candles, yeah. All you do is you just change the medium. Yeah. So next time we do a workshop, we decided we're going to do a live one. So we'll post it out there that we're going to do a live one, and hopefully you'll join in, and then Liz will be here to answer any questions that you might have.
I think as well, when you were saying about people always saying, I'm not artistic, how many times do we get that when people come in the studio? Yeah. And I mean, I'd probably say when I first started, I probably said it as well.
I know.
But it's just so effective. It's a lovely design. And with the sponges, you can get such great shapes with all the different designs that we've got.
And they're made out of high density sponge and they're laser cut by a company in batches of this is the selection of sycamore leaves, which has only taken Liz about 2 years to work out the leaves.
Yeah.
So
I've got them now.
Is it an oak? Is it a sycamore? Anyway, so this is a sycamore, so we've got it in the tiny and the small, and then we've got it in medium, and then we've got this one which has slots on the large, and you can just cut them so you've got 3 sponges to go at.
How I remember the sycamore now, Rachel, is I think about maple leaf from Canada.
It's the same, just about, yeah.
That's what makes me
and then we have exactly the same collection, but with an oak leaf. So you've got them. Well, actually, it's on the medium, the 3 on that, which is strange. We never did it on the large. Yeah. So we've got a large leaf on a medium, then 3 on a medium, and then you've got the small, and then you've got the tiny.
And we've actually got 18 different leaves.
18 types of leaves. Yeah, poppy leaves, rose leaves, all sorts of leaves.
You might end up having to take your bracelet off.
Ivy. Yeah, I tried to take that off today, actually. It's hard to do it by yourself.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Actually,
done it.
There you
go.
Well, okay.
I'm off with that.
Yeah.
In my pocket.
Right. I'm going to damp sponge the bisque, so just clean water and a nice hydro sponge, and I'm just going to do this because actually I feel things paint better when they've had a little bit of damp put on them. You see, it just changes the colour a little bit. With this, when this fires, it'll be just about white, not pure white, but just about white.
And it's also when you've had it in the shelf for ages as well, it gets really dusty, doesn't it? So it's best to really damp it so you get the dust off.
Yeah, I made this jug a while ago, but I only perhaps look actually. It looks a different colour. I bet it's a different clay. This is Arctic white stoneware, and this one there was another stoneware that I used a little while ago, but it's not quite as white when it fires, so I switched.
It's a nice jug, that.
It is a nice jug, yeah. Yeah, and handles are not my favourite things to do either. So before I start, I always dampen the sponges. So pop them in the water and wring them out, so they're just damp, but not, I can't get any water out of them. And I'll do that one as well. Wring it out as well. Wring it out. Now this is a spatter brush that we used afterwards, where you put the colour in. They're made by Kemper, so if you're an American watching, you might have a Kemper dealer where you are. I'm a Kemper dealer in UK, and you just twist it like this and it spats colour, well, everywhere, and some places that you don't want it. And that comes a large one. Oh, are they both the same size? No, that's the large one and that's the smaller one. Basically it's just a longer bristle. Does the same thing. So I'm just going to use clay paints. So these go directly onto greenware, onto bisque, and even onto ready-made china. And you just refire the ready-made china back up to a glaze temperature and it melts in. You don't have to put any more glaze. So they're quite versatile. Now you don't need a lot. They're very strong paints. And I generally paint with my finger unless I'm doing a single colour. If I'm doing a single colour, well then I just pounce it up and down into the paint. And they definitely work better with a pigment paint such as Duncan EZs or Mako do, I don't know what they call now, but they're engobes. That kind of paint is better for such as this, because you're not gonna sponge something 3 times, are you? Whereas with the frit based paints that most of the studios use, like Stroke and Coat, you would probably be doing it 3 times. Now it works, but it's just better with these type of paints. So I'll bring this back just to show you what they look like. You can see that the paints pretty much fire as they look in the bottle.
Just need to bring it a bit further forward.
And they fire to as high as stoneware. So either earthenware or stoneware, whichever you want to do. This is an earthenware jug. These are stoneware, and they're getting fired to stoneware to go in the Etsy shop.
If you put it where the Kemper tools are, then they'll be able to see that.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and that little one's got leaves on as well. But these are leaves out of the garden, just using the back of a leaf. That's another way to do leaves. So I'm going to just basically pop some colour on with my finger. Can you see that? So a little bit of brown, some green. Now it will sponge for quite a while once it's soaked in to the stem. Now this is a brand new sponge. I always find they work better, same as a paintbrush, when you've done a few bits and pieces with them, because they've got sizing in them. I should have washed it out with soap really, bit of soap to take it out. So you can see I've blended that in. I could probably put a bit of red in as well, I suppose, but why rock the boat? It looks really nice as it was. So what you've got to make sure is that the paint is flat. There's nothing protruding from the sponge. And then start on the back. So if you don't like what you've done, it gets better when it gets to the front. So basically this is not very damp. I just damp sponged it. So you pop it down, tiny push, rock it because the thing's round, and give it a chance to soak up. And there you go. Got one. Now you don't have to load every time. So I can do another one there, little press. So it's not quite as strong. So now I can see now that the paint has been taken off. So I'm going to reapply. You're hot, I'm getting hot too. I shouldn't have put the heating on really.
Well,
We've got the most amazing climate at the moment. Even my dahlias are still in the garden. They've normally gone all slimy, but we haven't had any frost. Haven't really had any cold weather.
Frost.
No, as soon as the frost is here, it'll be goodbye dahlias till next year.
And it'll be slippy underfoot.
Slippy, slimy, yeah.
And I don't need to be doing that with my knees.
Yeah. So somebody's saying they're watching. It's not like it, is it?
Yeah, and Rachel hasn't switched her phone on, so.
Okay, so just touch, give it a little rock. There we go. And then if you want it really soft, you can put a little bit of water in it and it'll kind of go more watercolour like. So you could fade it out and do a little faded one. softer. And make them face different ways, up and down. And if you want, you could then incorporate a little one. So pounce that in there with a bit of green and put a bit of brown, a bit of orange, a bit of dark brown. I've actually pulled the stem off this one. And then you can pop a few of those on. Small ones, just touch. See, take it away, touch, take it away, and down there. So you see I've done 3, 4, 5. So that's done 5 leaves on the back, and maybe I'll have another one. I'll put a bit more orange in it. Have one down here. So that one probably I would do a little bit again because it's a bit pale.
And sometimes if you have got something like that, you can just touch it up with a little bit of paint rather than just putting the sponge back on it, can't you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you put the sponge back on, you might distort the...
You might not line up.
Yeah. And you don't get it exactly on the floor.
Especially if you've had a few glasses of wine,
Yeah.
which I haven't. I've had 1 sip so far, so best
Yeah.
have another one. Oil the...
Cheers again.
Cheers. Nice.
Nice wine that actually.
Shiraz. Right, line that up. I think that's what that lady did. She lined it up and she lined it up a little bit incorrect. So she
Like
didn't
that.
like it like that.
It's
It's got two stems. So I don't want 2 stems. So that's something I didn't bring up. Any brushes? I'll try with this one.
I've got some here.
Gone. 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 That's it. And a little bit on this one here. Just watery. Gone. Finished. Right. And then for the front. So the front we'll do a couple of tiny ones. So I'll put the green on.
So obviously if you're not talking and telling somebody how to do this and you're actually doing it yourself, it'll take... It's a 2-minute job, isn't it?
It is very quick, yeah. So it's great as a retail thing. I mean, the pot took ages to make, but the decorating of it is not going to. So that's just a very small one. One down there. I'll change it to this one. Put some green on. I thought about mixing it with the oak leaves, but we decided let's just keep it sycamore.
I think it looks nice when it's all different sizes as well.
Just simple. The lady just did the large ones. I can't remember what her name was. What was it?
It's on the pot. Oh no, she did one small one.
Is it Judy? I can't.
Judy.
She did do a small one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did one lonely small
And
one.
Rachel actually, I don't know if did you put it on the what's it called, site? We could actually upload it onto here so they can see the picture that you took, because Rachel actually took the picture with a load of leaves under it in the drive of her house. Oh, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It just looked so lovely, and that was actually what inspired us to do this and just show you how easy it is with these sponges.
So just touch, pull it off. If you do get little dimply pimples it's quite often that the sponge just isn't damp enough. But you've just got to be careful, because you make it too damp. When you give it a little tiny push, you get a little run. Now see, that's softer because there's a bit more water in the brush, in the sponge, sorry, in the sponge. That's only 2 sips.
And there's been no littles so far. Well, maybe one. I haven't been counting.
I started saying we.
Oh dear.
It's rubbing out. But your Scottish accent is rubbing off on me.
It's when you start to say "oh kind," and I'll get worried.
Yeah, that's what she's logged in my phone as. Okay, the new.
I'm not logged as Liz. I'm logged as okay the new.
So you see, I wait a while. I don't just pounce Oh, I've waited too long, it's stuck. Oh, there we go.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I put a bit of water in and get a watery one. And if you got them really, really watery, and you did more and more and more, and it was watery, they would fade out, which is good. Now this has got a bit of a dip, but it should I'm pointing the same way. Let's point down. It should go into the dip. That's the nice thing about a sponge. It will go around a corner or into a dip. Yeah. See, that's when you've got a little bit of water in it. It is nice.
It just blends the colour in together, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what I like to do as well is put a bit of a leaf on. Half a leaf, and be really smart and rock it around the other side. Yep. See? So it's half on that side, half on that side. On there, like that. Go around the corner. Like that.
Did you just invent that?
No. I've done it before. I like I like little bits of leaves. I'm gonna put quite a bit of water in that. Just pounce it there and see if I can get little tiny faded out.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, because when there's more water in it, it goes and goes and goes. So that's probably enough, and you don't need to do any more. If you want to do some more detail, what you could do is you could get a brush, I suppose, and do longer stems or some squiggles.
Or maybe some bit in the middle that's like, you know, the, what's it called? The branches that go off.
Yes, the veins. Yeah. You could do veins in it if you wanted.
I think it looks nice.
But I like it simple. And then you spatter it with the same colours. So I have to put a bit more on.
I think doing it, I suppose it's that thing of how much you want it to look real, how much you want it to be more arty.
Yeah.
But you could choose that yourself, can't you?
Yeah. And then when you spatter, do decide to remove what's nearby. Because the spatter.
Want at the back, just yes,
no, I don't think so. I'll be okay. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll put a tea towel under it.
It's like that that thing of when we did the you were doing a pot. Do you remember you were doing that pot and it ended up with the fairy ring all around the window, and it was all over you and all over me because I was sitting opposite you.
Yeah. So you just wind the brush. You see? Can you see it?
Not really, but we will be able to win. Oh, you can see little bits coming on now, yeah. But probably more so when you tip the plate up, you'll be able to see it. It's got like a metal rod, hasn't it? And it kind of brushes the...
Yeah, look. It's got this thing here. Pin. And it goes up like that.
So instead of having to flick it with your finger, that actually does it for you.
Doesn't really matter which way you do it. A few dark bits. See, that side I think. Ooh. There we go. Bit on me. Can you see that? Can you see the bits?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes it look like a speckly glaze, and then same on the back. So how long did that take?
Well, with the talking, we have the Abilene, which we've done a few bits of, and the introduction and everything, about 15 minutes altogether. We're on 19 minutes, but we, about 15.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
No, I think it would make a nice dinner set.
Definitely. And I'm not really a flowery, patterny person with my pottery, but I really like that. And we've had so many comments about it, haven't we?
Yep. And they come in to pick their pots up. Oh, I love that. Who's done that one? So, a lady with zero confidence. I'm sure she's going to grow 6 foot when she goes out this door, when she picks this up.
And we've actually got some ladies' nights or some nights coming up, painting nights, and this might give people a bit of inspiration. If
Well,
they watch
actually, two that came in, Helen and Tina, have both booked that night to do this. They both want to do this design. So if you want to come and have a go at painting it yourself, we've got probably about, 1,000 pieces of bisque to choose from around the back of me. Lots of thrown bisque, some slip cast bisque, some stoneware, some earthenware. And we're doing it on the 17th of November, which is next Thursday, and the 1st of December, 7 until 10:30. So you can arrive when you want and go when you want. And it's minimum spend of £20. The evening's actually free, so there's no studio fee. You can bring a bottle if you want. So that's done. That looks nice. I don't actually think I've got a spritzy bottle up here.
I know we did this the last time. I don't think we brought one up, and we haven't got one in the shop either. For some reason.
No, we have just behind you. Can you see them in that jug?
Yeah, we have. We didn't have last time, so we must have added them.
They came out of the lockup. I found a little box of them. So just put some water in. These are watercolour spritzers that we have on our website, but you can also get them from Hobbycraft if you've got a local Hobbycraft, except they're rather expensive in Hobbycraft. And then you spray it with water. Oh, go on. And you can see, look, can you see it changing colour?
Yep.
It shows you what it's going to look like when it's finished, and it's got that glaze on. So when somebody says to you, have I got enough paint on, and you can't really tell, if you spray what you're doing, you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to say, yes, put a bit more on, or no, don't put a bit more on. Do you think these ones where I pulled the little stem off need stems? I might put stems on later. Yeah. Let's have a look. I'll just put one in if I've got a small enough, have I? Maybe that one. I didn't bring any brushes upstairs, so just going to thin that to an ink.
And the reason why they don't have stems is because they are so thin on the sponge you can't actually pluck them, because I am the master plucker of the sponges. And when you pluck the little ones, the stem comes away with the sponge. It's really, really thin because of the way the laser cuts it.
So we decided we wouldn't have
them. And plus, they end up getting pulled off anyway because they're like I say, they're really tiny. So it's just easy enough to just
do a line. You can say, I haven't painted this.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the stems.
Well, to be fair, you did hand paint it. You put all the colour on the sponges yourself by using your finger.
Yeah.
You put the splatter on yourself by using the splatter brush. So,
well, sponge work is very popular. I mean, these sponges are made the same way with the same company as Emma Bridgewater's. She designed hers and I designed mine. I mean, a leaf's a leaf, isn't it? But that's got a bit missing. Let's see if I can line that up. Yep, there we go. So there, and then when you wash these, basically running tap, squeeze, 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 just lukewarm water. Occasionally I will put a little bit of soap on them if they stain. And if you do acrylics or you want to use glass paint with the sponges, it will stain the sponge, but the sponge is perfectly fine. It's just coloured because, of course, t-shirt paint stains whatever it's going on. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. That's done, and that'll be live by tomorrow because we're on a go slow with the internet. So last time it took 24 hours to load, didn't it? It drove us mad. We did try to wait, but it got to about 1 o'clock when we went to bed. So anyway, till next time, enjoy. Cheers.
I can't really clink you now because I've got nothing in my glass. Yeah, cheers everybody.